Hi guys, Elizabeth Quam from Getty Grove. You ever wish you were Mary Poppins? Yep, that's pretty satisfying. Unfortunately, it only sticks around for like a day. I'm going to be very frank with you guys about my political views, and you don't have to agree with me, and it's good to talk about it. So leave some comments on what you think about RFK Jr. I really like what he has to say, and he's the only one talking about health. And although you can't agree 100% on everything that somebody is thinking, but I just think that he is an amazing candidate that has been working to improve the health of people for a long time with the cases that he has brought, especially with the glyphosate stuff. But he also is in the know, and I feel like he is the one that can get it done and has been getting it done. I really like him. Hey. Actually, I lied. I said that I like Kennedy. I love Kennedy. When you have a child that has succumbed to no, be kind to mama. When you have a child that got sick, like terribly sick, and the doctors did nothing to help. In fact, they told you that it was just genetic and that there was nothing you could do about it. You start to wonder when that child starts to heal and you just took away gluten from their diet. Now, I believe that gluten is actually part of mold sickness, and that the root cause largely is mold toxicity, and glyphosate actually helps mold thrive. Well, all of the pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, even the fungicides are usually fungal toxins oftentimes, and all of those things are also antimicrobial. And when you have something that's antimicrobial, you have a flourishing of fungus, because fungus loves to thrive in pollution, and it loves to thrive in something that the substrate has been cleaned. So that's why using bleach to try to clean a spot with mold is not going to cut it. It will love you for cleaning it with bleach. You have to remove it completely, and that's what I feel like Kennedy's gonna do in some other ways other than just improve the health, because he is friends with Dr. Hyman, who is fully aware, functional doctor, fully aware of all of the plethora of things that are affecting us right now. I mean, no one's absolutely fully aware, but and Robert Kennedy is aware of these things, and it's like he's going to clean the mold, not with bleach, but with borax instead, which actually kills fungus. Yeah. I think I'm gonna let this video be short. Maybe not. So, my child. When you have someone like Nayeli, who was said to have leukodystrophy, a demyelinating disorder of the brain in which she would die in 3 to 5 years, she completely digressed into not being able to function and walk properly. She had ataxia, among other things. And and we found the root cause to be mold toxicity, and I'm wondering, well, a lot of these leukodystrophies and disease in general, they're increasing. If we are so smart, then why are we getting so sick? Why do we even claim ourselves as great among anything when our health, when we're supposed to be so educated and our health is so failing? Like, how can we be great again if we aren't healthy? How can we be productive as a nation if we are not healthy as a nation? He's the only one talking about health issues. He's the only one that can really make a difference, I feel like, in your physical quality of life. Okay, anyhow, so Nayeli started healing, and the only reason why they said that she didn't have leukodystrophy is because she was healing. And they wouldn't, I said, no, you guys got to share this information with people. If I left her on the same path, she would have died, and 30-40% of leukodystrophies are of unknown cause. And although they are rare, altogether they are common and increasing. Just like ALS, too, which is largely identified as a mycotoxin problem. It's not like these researchers also don't know. So a lot of the parents are just like, well, it's actually a genetic thing, and there's nothing we can do about it. And that's where they would love to have you stay thinking. They would love for you to stay thinking that it's just a genetic problem, when really, sure, there are genetic susceptibilities. Like, we know that there is an RA sulfatase enzyme deficiency in metachromatic leukodystrophy. Sure, yeah, but guess what? Mold toxins affect enzymes of the body and depreciate it. And what they're using for their research are knockout mice. So the genetic for making the RA sulfatase enzyme in the limesome is actually not present in those mice. And that's not what the disease is in humans. It's a deficiency. We have all of these immune deficiency diseases that are supposedly genetic. And guess what? Yes, genetic, but think of them as genetic susceptibilities. If we don't think of things as genetic susceptibilities, we lay down and we die. That's what we're doing. And sometimes that's easier to do for some people mentally. They're like, oh, it's genetic, so I'm gonna move on from here, and I'm not gonna do anything to try to help solve this problem. I'm not gonna go into researching about it, and that's fine. Each parent can do what they want. Each person can do what they want with their own health. I chose to investigate like crazy, and I'm not saying, and although her genetic was unknown, it was unknown, that doesn't mean that she doesn't have a genetic susceptibility in some respect to mold and gluten. And I believe that gluten actually goes into the body, and although it can affect us in multiple ways, I think one way that it can affect us is that it can go into the body, the fungus can identify it in a microbiome film, a biofilm, and it produces an enzyme that can digest gluten, and we can't. So and that it's toxic to us, and that's why you get this plethora of problems even with a teeny bit of gluten. Now, it might be mast cell activation, blah, 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 blah. There's probably multiple ways, but I believe that there's probably also this enzymatic process. Anyhow, leukodystrophy. I would really love the parents out there to investigate their symptoms, because a lot of the mold toxicity symptoms are lined up with these children that have metachromatic leukodystrophy. A lot of them have gut issues, gallbladder issues, they have sleep problems, they have shocks, seizures, seizure-like events. And those are things that Nayeli had, and gut disturbances. Like, there's multiple things, and a lot of them line up with mold toxicity. And if you suppress an enzyme, you're gonna get the phenotypic response. So if you have this enzyme to a certain level in your body and you're developing just fine, you're developing fine, and then you get an exposure and it really taps you down and it makes your enzyme even more depleted than it already is, then you're going to start to look like that phenotype. You're going to start to have ataxia. You're going to start to have all of these things go wrong. They're not investigating mold. They are not going to do it. They will not do it. You have to, the leukodystrophy parents, you have to investigate it for yourself. And I am passionate about it because I'm sad about it. I mean, it affected Nayeli. She surely would have been dead by now, way fast. If she wasn't dead, she'd be mentally off in a chair and hurt and physically hurting, going into seizures, all of these things. Super sad. I don't want that for our nation. I don't want that for our kids. And I want people to stand up. I want the leukodystrophy parents to stand up and start investigating mold as a possible cause, because I can't do everything for everyone in that respect. And it will be a national change for the people of leukodystrophy. But it's not even just leukodystrophy, it's everything. It's all the chronic diseases. So, all right. I'll get off it now. I'll get off my soapbox.